Hey guys, this is how the mob made Vegas. Every time I visit Vegas, I'm struck by just how unique it is. The skyline is filled with glittering casinos, opulence is absolutely everywhere, and yet the seedy underbelly of Sin City still remains. Las Vegas originated as a trade hub along the old Spanish Trail. The name Las Vegas literally translates to the meadows, which is a great place to be when you're in the middle of the desert. The area of Las Vegas was the convergent point of three major railways: the San Pedro line, the Los Angeles line, and the Salt Lake line. But in 1905, with the new century dawning, it was time for these railroads to give up some of their land, and so they sold it, and Las Vegas was formed. One of the stipulations set by the railroads was that only the 16th and 17th blocks would be allowed to serve alcohol. And as you would expect, this very quickly became the hub of all of the wonderful drinking and Red Dead Redemption action of Las Vegas in 1905. However, the stipulation was short-lived. After a few short years, alcohol was made legal citywide. This meant that the hotels on Fremont Street could sell alcohol, which of course was very popular with the guests. But what that also meant was that our good old friends at Block 16 and 17 needed a new competitive advantage. Can you see where I'm going with this? Prostitution! I don't think anyone knew that was where that was going. The saloons became brothels offering prostitution and gambling, and this is where they earned the name Sin City. This newly created red light district attracted people from all over, and especially organized crime. One mob boss in particular, Jim Ferguson, became especially notorious during Prohibition. In addition to owning a popular brothel, Ferguson also had a network of bootleggers and distribution. Even though they were illegal in the country, vices such as gambling and drinking were actually still pretty much ignored by the Nevada government. The fun didn't last long. After a series of run-ins between rival gangs, the state decided to start electing officials who could, quote, clean up the unsatisfactory moral condition of the city. However, this didn't quite work out as intended. Good old Jim Ferguson quickly struck up a deal with the newly elected officials such as the mayor and the police chief. In exchange for regular donations, Ferguson and only Ferguson was allowed to basically operate without having to worry about the police. Being a good businessman, he then of course charged a protection fee to his bootleggers for the protection. Because corruption's great, guys. Without that immunity, his competitors were very quickly pushed out of business. By the time Prohibition ended and alcohol was legal again in the United States, pretty much all alcohol distributors in Nevada were owned by the mob. In 1931, when Nevada legalized gambling, the very first official casino was opened in Las Vegas, known as the Paradise Club. That same year, construction of the nearby Hoover Dam project meant that there was a ton of new people coming into Las Vegas who just wanted to blow off some steam and hang out at the Paradise Club. I just love saying Paradise. It's clever. I'm easily impressed sometimes. Seeing the potential for larger casinos, notorious mob boss Big Z Siegel saw the opportunity to build his own. He originally tried to open on Fremont Street, but city officials, aware of his reputation for murder, decided that maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Now, he tried in vain to argue that, hey, look, we only kill each other and not, normal people, but for some reason the city really just wasn't having it, and so he decided to come up with a little bit of a different plan. In 1941, Siegel set up shop right outside of the Las Vegas city limits in an unincorporated area known as Paradise. Because Paradise is an unincorporated area, what that means is that it doesn't have to pay taxes to the city of Las Vegas, and importantly, it is not underneath its jurisdiction. So even though those guys might not be okay with, mob people murdering each other, that's not a problem. Paradise, totally fine. Don't worry about it.
Forget about it.
Now, Paradise didn't have the normal amenities that a city offers, such as a police force. However, the mob had plenty of their own enforcers to serve that particular role. And by serve that role, I mean break your arms if you tried to cheat the casino. Now, what's interesting is, if you visit Las Vegas today, it's actually not technically Las Vegas. Paradise still exists, and it's where basically all of the major casinos on the Strip are, the airport. It is all in the unincorporated territory of Paradise. In 1966, billionaire director, aviator, and slightly crazy person Howard Hughes rented a room at the Desert Inn. Hughes was notoriously reclusive and bizarre, and he spent the next month in his room, not leaving once. He even bought a local TV station because they weren't playing his favorite programs late at night. When the hotel threatened to kick him out, Howard Hughes did what he does best and bought the entire hotel. Over the next several months, Hughes decided to buy up more and more hotels in Las Vegas, and to oversee them, he hired an entire team of Mormons, because actually he had some good reasons. I'll give him that. Kind of made sense. This team became known as the Mormon Mob. Now, no, it wasn't something as exciting as a Mormon crime ring that decided to roll into town and brute force everyone out. Instead, it was a much more scary group of individuals, attorneys, and bankers. Over the next several months, Hughes bought up more and more of the mob-owned hotels and started to change Vegas into what we know it as today. All of the mob-owned casinos have either been torn down or bought out at this point. And when you look at Las Vegas in 2019, it is very much dominated by just a handful of corporations such as MGM and Caesars. So the next time you visit Las Vegas, or Paradise I guess, just know that all of the unbelievable wealth that's in that city had a little bit of a nefarious past.